All right, welcome. Thank you for being with me today for this practice. We are going to begin in reclining butterfly. So I'll get you to come down onto your back, bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees drop open. You have a cushion there. If you're at home, if you want to grab a cushion or a pillow, you could place it underneath your head if you like for some added comfort. Let's just take a moment just to land into our reclining butterfly and tune in. So I'd like to invite you to close the eyes if it feels comfortable to do so. And just gently, subtly lengthen the back of the neck. So feel the neck grow nice and long, and you'll feel the chin naturally want to come in towards the chest. That's okay, just let that happen. And then let the shoulders melt down towards the floor. Move your hands a little bit away from the torso and turn the palms to face upwards. As this happens, feel the openness being created through the chest. Let the belly soften. And see if you can relax the thighs. So I'm just going to make my way around the class and offer to place a block underneath the knees. What we quite often do in our butterfly poses, especially reclining butterfly, is to try and press the knees down to really encourage that opening through the hips. But all that's doing is actually just creating tension. So it's nice to have something underneath the knees. Even if it's some cushions off the couch or something like that you can find at home. It's nice to have something under the knees just to give them a little bit of support. So it's almost as if instead of pressing the knees down, we imagine the knees actually floating upwards. So we have our body in position and aligned. We align the mind by bringing the awareness or the attention inwards. Use the attention as a way to observe the body or observe the breath. We're here for 5 more breaths. Place your hands on the outsides of your thighs and then just gently press the knees back together. Maybe move the blocks out of the way or whatever it was that was supporting underneath the knees. Give the knees a little hug in, just a gentle hug in. We don't want to draw them in too tightly, just keeping everything nice and soft here. And then extend the legs nice and long. Keep the legs together, so long on the floor I should say. Bring the arms up overhead. So either arms up overhead, interlace the fingers, keeping the index finger free like a little steeple mudra, or you could bend the elbows, taking opposite elbows. You do whatever feels best for you. So we're going to keep the hips in the center of the mat and then shuffle the feet over to the right edge of the mat. And then do the same with the shoulders. So kind of lift the shoulders and shuffle over. So we're creating that banana shape with our body. If you'd like to cross the left ankle over the right, you can do so. Just an option. If it doesn't feel comfortable, don't worry about it. So we have our body in nice alignment here. We're going to align the mind by having our point of awareness running down the left-hand side of the body, the side that's getting stretched at the moment. And we'll pause here for 5 breaths. Slowly making your way back to center. And then do the same on the left side. So the feet shuffle over first and then the top half of the body, keeping the hips in the center of the mat. Crossing ankles if you like. Feeling the alignment of your body in this shape. And then aligning the mind by focusing on that right side body this time. Breathing into all the spaces there. Couple more breaths here. And moving back to center. And bring the arms back down alongside you. And just pausing here for a moment just to let everything realign. Keep your attention or the mind within the body, just scanning, observing, being aware. And slowly bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet to the floor. So your feet are hip width apart and you're going to shuffle the heels back in towards the sit bones. Arms are alongside you, palms facing downwards so that there's some power in the palms of your hands. Once again, the back is nice and long and that continues to lengthen through the back of the neck, so that the back of the neck's feeling nice and long and protected. On your next inhale, I want you to press into the soles of your feet and your hands and lift your hips up. So we're coming into a bridge pose. Now from here, I want you to press down through your big toes. So when you press down through the big toes, you're going to find that the thighs activate here. So there's going to be some power there. And keep pressing down through the palms of the hands as well. See if when you press down through the big toes, feel the thighs activate. Take a big inhale and see if you can lift a little bit more through the chest. Just going to straighten your feet up a little bit here. Yes, perfect. All right, and keep pressing down. We have 5 more breaths here. Your glutes should be firm, but they're not squeezing. So if you're squeezing, then you might need to back off just a little bit. 2 more breaths. Last inhale, lift the hips a little higher. And then from the top of the spine to the top of the back of the neck, slowly roll down so that the tailbone is the last part of the body to connect to the mat. Once it's there, just pause. And then go ahead and hug the knees into the chest. From here, we're coming into another yin posture called Happy Baby. Now, you can do your Happy Baby simply by just keeping the knees in towards the chest like what you're seeing now, and just widening the space between the knees so that the knees are drawing towards the armpits. Or you could bring your feet so that they're parallel with the roof and take hold of either the outside of the feet, the inside of the feet, or you can take your big toes with your peace fingers if that's more comfortable. I don't mind what you do as long as you're somewhere. So what we're doing here is we're flattening the back against the floor and just gently drawing the knees in towards the armpits. The back of the neck stays nice and long, and see if you can relax the shoulders and the jaw. If it feels nice to kind of roll about in your Happy Baby, you could do that, or you might just decide to be still. We're pausing here for 8 breaths. See if you can keep the knees in a straight line with the ankles. Three more breaths. Aligning the body and the mind. Focusing the mind's attention on the flow of breath in the shape that you've created. Last exhale. Gently release the feet, hug the knees in. You might even take the tops of the knees and just draw little circles just to release any tension. Bring the feet back down to the floor. Once again, we're coming into bridge pose, so feet are a hip width apart. Feet are parallel, so toes pointing forward. Scoot the heels in towards the sit bones as much as you can. Back them up. Hands begin by being down alongside you. Palms facing downwards. Lengthen the back of your neck, so feel nice and long. On your inhale, press through the hands and the feet. Lift the hips up. And this time, if you would like to, you could take your hands underneath the back, interlace the fingers, draw your palms actively together along with your shoulder blades, and walk your shoulders underneath you. If this isn't comfortable, just hands down alongside you, perfectly fine. So see if you can keep pressing down into the big toes. As you do this, squeeze the thighs and then use that to find a little bit more power. Keep lifting through the chest. We have 5 more breaths here. Observe where the mind goes in this pose and see if you can keep your attention inwards. Drop it down from the head into the heart or into the body. Now, if you have your hands interlaced underneath you, separate them, palms facing down alongside you. Keep the hips lifted just for a moment. Press down through the big toes. Lift up your right heel so that you're on the ball of the right foot. Beautiful. Stabilize there, and then go ahead and do the same on the left. So keep the right heel lifted, but we come up onto the balls of both feet. Perfect. From here, notice how the hips have lifted a little bit more, maybe even the chest. Keep that height and slowly bring the heels back down to the floor. See if you've found some more room there. Take a nice deep full breath in. And then slowly roll like a wave. Tailbone connects last all the way down. Once you're there, just hit pause for a moment. Slowly let the knees come in towards each other. Walk the feet out to the edges of the mat. And just pause here. Alright, shuffle the feet back in towards each other, so about a hip width apart. Let the knees open, and then let the knees just softly drop over to the right. So it's just a really subtle twist. Find something that feels comfortable for the arms. We're just going to spend 5 breaths here just to wring out the energy, give the spine a bit of love. Nice easy drift through center. Knees dropping over opposite direction. Feel free to realign through the torso, the shoulders, the arms. You might turn your gaze to face the opposite way from the knees. Draw the knees back to center. Do any last little stretches that would feel nice. Hug knees in, roll around, stretch through the body, whatever feels good here. And then bring yourself into your resting pose, your Shavasana. And even in our Shavasana, we want to take the time to set up our alignment so that we can then have our attention inwards as opposed to focusing on anything that feels uncomfortable. So really taking your time to lengthen the legs, have the toes hanging out, let the hips fully rest back into the floor, and even see if you can relax through the spine. Often we're holding tension through the spine that we can release through the lower, middle and upper back. Take one last big breath in. Exhale to melt and float into your relaxation. Let's begin to step back into the body now as we deepen the breath. And perhaps find movement in our fingers and toes. If you feel like a big full body stretch, arms up overhead, big inhale as you reach through your fingertips to your toes. And slowly bending the knees and turning over onto your side. Letting yourself rest here, taking a full cycle of breath. And pressing yourself up into a comfortable seat, using Any props, pillows, cushions, blocks if you've got them handy. Anchoring down through the sit bones, and from that point lengthening the spine. Eyes can be closed. Roll the shoulders up and then glide them down the back. Feel your chest open subtly, and then go ahead and place your palms on your knees facing upwards. Feel the back of the neck lengthen, crown of the head parallel to the sky, reaching upwards. And once again, aligning the body and the mind with that nice, long, tall spine. On your inhale, let your awareness travel up the spine. And as you exhale, let it gently float back down. Spending these last few moments breathing in, breathing out. Just observing the flow of breath up and down the spine. Bring your hands together, lightly press thumbs against the chest. Bring your chin down to your chest. Give yourself a big smile for your practice today, for making the time. And bring thumbs to forehead. Namaste. Thank you, guys.